Hey everybody, I got another video here for you. It's for the 9.2, which is multiplying polynomials. And we're going to go through a little bit of review first and then do some example problems that are, again, on the 9.2 lesson. It's not homework for you guys, it's just practice problems I'm going through with you. It's published on Canvas. So if you want to write these problems down when I show them to you, pause the video, try them, and then check your answer with my answer. That might be a good way for you to see how you're doing. All right, just a quick couple of quick reminders. When we're multiplying polynomials, we're going to have to use our exponent rules. So remember, when you have a monomial with a coefficient like this, 3 and 2, the rule is you have to multiply those to get 6. And then when we multiply similar bases, x and x, we take the exponents and we add them. So 2 plus 1 would be 3. If you get this, which is the power rule, it says we have 4 squared, which is 16, and then x to the power of the 1 that should be here times 2 would be 2. And then just simple product rule again, x to the 8th times x to the 3rd would be x to the 11th. Remember, the rule is you keep the base and you add the exponents. All right? When we're doing multiplying polynomials, you guys are going to use the distributive property, which I'm sure you're familiar with. It's where you take the term on the outside, in this case it's 3, and you distribute it to everything on the inside. So we'd have 3 times x and 3 times 2. And when we do 3 times x, we get 3x. 3 times 2 would give us 6. So this would simplify to 3x plus 6. Now, if the term on the outside is a monomial like this, where we have a coefficient and a variable, then we have to apply exponent rules. So don't forget these. These are going to be important in this section. So if you have 2x times x, 2x times positive 5, so 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times 5 would be 2 times 5, which is 10, and then the x just goes there. So just some reviewed rules for you guys for distributive property and exponent rules. All right, so let's get into a couple of these examples so you guys can get started on your work for today. I'm going to write down from the paper, I'm going to write down number 1, and I'm also going to write down number 4. We're going to go over 1 and 4. So if you want to copy those down, pause the video, and then check your work with me. You can when you're done. Otherwise, follow along. So number 1 is x squared times 6x squared minus 3x minus 1. And number 4 is 3x plus 1 times 2x minus 5. All right, so we have to take this x squared times everything. And don't forget, in front of this x, there's actually a 1. So really here we have 1 times 6, which is 6. X squared times x squared. Keep the x, and 2 plus 2 is 4. Next, you have a negative and a positive, so our answer is going to be negative, so let's just write that there. 1 times 3 is 3. X squared times x to the first is x to the third. And then 1x squared times negative 1 would be negative 1x squared. Now after you do that, check and see if there are any like terms that you can combine from section 1. In this case, we have a 4, a 3, and a 2. None of these can be regrouped together, so that's our final answer. Okay, for problems like number 4, you're going to do something that's called FOIL. Now FOIL only works when you have a binomial times a binomial. Meaning you still do the same steps if it's a binomial times a trinomial, but FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. Now first means you take the first two terms, 3x and 2x, and you multiply them and you get 6x squared. Next, for outside, you take the 2 on the outside, so 3x minus 5x, which is negative 15x. Then you take the 2 on the inside, so these two, positive 1 and positive 2, multiply them to get positive 2x. And then the last step is you take the last two, which would be 1 and negative 5, and you multiply them and you get negative 5. So just like in this problem, we look to see is there anything we can combine before we write our final answer. In this case, there are. The two middle terms can be combined. So we bring down 6x squared. Then you have negative 15x plus 2x gives us negative 13x. And then you bring down the minus 5. Okay? So there's 2 problems right there to get you guys started and let you go ahead and go through the notes and some of the practice. I'm going to also include another video that shows how to do problems like 13, 14, and 15. All right, keep working, and I'll post another video for you guys here in a little bit.